All right, so I learned that on my press, I can only get it out a little bit and then it starts making contact. So I went out and bought this, which is a front wheel drive bearing tool set, according to the name of it. I'll put a link in the description on Amazon, but we're gonna use that to get this thing out. Now, the way these things work is I will be putting it over here like this, and this giant bolt is going to go through the middle, and we're going to tighten it, and one of these plates is going to push it from this side, and it's going to come out into this and out on the other side. To do that, the bolt has to be able to go through the middle, because most bearings, of course, have a hole in the middle. This one does not, so I'm going to use a Sawzall and cut out the rubber, or you could just use a little handsaw, something. I put it on my vise and get this thing out of the middle. All right, I think this is going to stink. Oh man, that was pretty exciting. Yas. He's not reusable. All right, so now that there's a hole in it, we can go with my original plan. All right, 26mm socket on the bottom of this thing, and I'm just holding this here with the wrench and tighten away. I don't know if you can see, but this thing is pushing down. Hold this out of the way so you can see on camera. All right, I think it's bottomed out now, so it should just be about out. I realized halfway through this that I was planning on using this to put it in as well, but no hole in the middle of a new one. Ta-da! All right, used some sandpaper, sanded it down a little bit, cleaned off the new bearing. I'm going to put some of my assembly lube in here to help it slide in better. Here is an alignment mark right here. The new bearing has a little tiny alignment mark stamped in the rubber. I don't know if you can see that right there. So that's how it gets oriented. My new one has a line right down the middle too. So it goes right here with that alignment guy. And oh yeah, and this end is tapered, so make sure you insert it from this end. The other side is flat, so much easier to get it started right there. All right, we got a little pre-lube. All right, to press this thing in, I am actually shocked this works. I was about to try a couple different things. One was using C-clamps to press it in, which would have been a giant pain in the butt. I only have one C-clamp, it's right here. Other option was to go out to Harbor Freight and buy a bigger press, which was planned for later this afternoon. But I figured I would just give this one shot, not thinking it would work. So I also got this large jack stand from my previous attempt, where it is supporting the bottom on this side because there's nothing to support it to put it on the rail. Over here, you can only use the lip on that side with this particular press, but it still wasn't lined up in the middle, so I didn't think it would push it in straight. So what I did is I cocked it this way a little bit and started pressing it in, and it's actually going in nicely. Oh, and then I used the shell of the one that I pushed out to be what pushes this bearing in, because I'm gonna need to push it a little bit past flush here to get it all the way in. So a flat object would not work, but we got a flat one of these on top. That is out of this bushing kit. It's a 74mm, I believe. So yeah, there's the inside of our old bushing. So we removed the inside of it, so we just have the shell. So yeah, that's what we are using. And when I hydraulic this thing down, it is actually going down. So it might be at a little tiny bit of an angle by the time I get it down there, but I think I can just switch this thing around in the other direction if necessary to get it in. But yeah, you can see it's not making perfect contact like I would like, but it is all we got. And that is the maximum reach of my press. So I'm gonna have to let it go back up, move these up a notch, and reset this and get it pushed in the rest of the way. Yes! Almost there. Sweet success. All right, it's in there. The only thing that I had not thought of is the inner part is making contact with my rail, and so the rubber is having to give a little bit here. So if I were to do this again, I would actually use these to support it off of here on the edges to give it a little bit more clearance to go in there so that it would not do that. All right, with the new engine mount bushing installed, I'm gonna go ahead and put the 4 bolts on the carrier in there. And this, I guess, is a controversial 5th bolt. It's a long Torx bolt that goes here. And a lot of people hate this bolt because if you're trying to remove this, when it's in the car, you can't get this bolt out apparently. So some people just leave it out and don't use it at all. So, well, since I hope to never take this out again, I'm gonna go ahead and install it anyway. But just a heads up in the future, if you're trying to get this out, what some people do is unthread this and then cut the end off, I guess, and then just use pliers to get it out the rest of the way and never reinstall it. All right, somebody on the forums was correct. They said in the rear wheel suspension piece of the manual, you would find the torque values, and surprisingly, that is correct. So we got the engine carrier to the body is 48 foot-pounds, and I can only imagine that little one is the stud, and it is 15 foot-pounds. So here is our 15 foot-pounds. That little fella is a T30, and he's right here. All right, 48 foot-pounds, and these are 15 millimeters. So I'm gonna tighten all 4 of these. Next up is the engine mounting to the carrier. So we are gonna slide the 2 bolts that go through our new bushing, and they each have a nut on this side. Nut and bolt are both 15 millimeters and go to 48 foot-pounds.
Thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If you found value in the information shared, please take a moment to give it a like and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback not only encourages us, but also helps others discover content that can make a difference. Remember, every like and comment counts in building a community where we can all learn and grow together. Looking forward to seeing you soon.